Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of I Am Christina DiArcangelo. And today, my guest is Diana Khaimova. I just looked over because I wrote it down on a piece of paper.
Oh my God, it's okay. You got it right. So don't worry.
I had to write it the way I can hear myself phonetically say it. So thank you so much.
Okay, you did great.
Thank you. I don't want to mess up your name. It's important that people know you by your name.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's such a pleasure to have you on. Would you like to start off by explaining your background, please, and introducing yourself properly, and then we'll go from there.
Awesome. Okay, so my name is Diana. I am turning 26 in actually 14 days. I am legally, or I have an associate's degree in optical world. I'm an optician. So originally I started off working, as an optician for many years. I did it for I think 6 or 7 years. I love decor, anything that's stylish, anything that's colorful, that's always up my alley. I love it. So post COVID, I actually ended up losing my job because of all these, everybody went through something during COVID time. So unfortunately I lost my job, but then I decided to turn it into a positive opportunity and just pursue something that I really love, which is the home decor stuff and making things for people. So that's how I kind of started my business. So it really came as a positive thing.
I've got to say, first off, I'm not happy to hear that you lost your position because of this COVID debacle. But what I'm happy to hear is that you turned it into a positive situation for yourself, right? Not only did you turn it into a positive situation, but you were brave. It's not easy owning a business and doing, work for yourself when you've been working for somebody else, right?
100%. And when I tell you that was the biggest risk I took.
Yeah. Do you believe enough in yourself? And I think what's important is that people need to believe in themselves when they have something that is valuable that they could help others with. And that's what you're doing with all of the beautiful masterpieces that you have. That's how I found you. I found you randomly on Instagram myself. And I was looking, so I was on Instagram with intention, and it was to find somebody to help me with Affinity Patient Advocacy's awards that we're going to be giving out for change influencers in the cannabis industry, the medical cannabis space. Uh-huh. So in Christina DiArcangelo fashion, everything has to be special, right? Because you can't just go buy an award and say, here you go. That's not what I do. So I wanted to have...
definitely has to be thoughtful from the heart type of thing. Yeah.
Especially that.
I know what you mean.
And that company, it's a nonprofit for patient advocacy. We advocate for patients at no cost, right? So it has to be special. And I wanted the people who were getting the award to feel special and appreciated and valued. So I reached out to you and I saw your page. I had seen something with a lot of glitter. I love glitter. Okay.
Christina loves her glitter.
I love it. So I randomly send you a DM like a weirdo and asked, if you could help me. And you rose to the occasion. And swung right in.
I'm always down for a challenge. Whatever it is, most of the time I say yes. Even if I want to say no, I try to be a yes person and take on different opportunities, because that's the only way you grow, in my opinion. In life, you have to do new things. So
I absolutely agree. And here I send you a picture of kind of what I had envisioned in my mind. Everyone that listens to my show knows I'm not an artist. I even wore something very colorful today because I was meeting. Because I was meeting.
It's so funny, and I was gonna wear something colorful, but I'm maybe I should tone it down a little bit. So I we're just complete opposite.
Just be you. Well, I have all black on underneath. Okay, that's normally how I look. I look like I'm going to a funeral every day. So I know. So So I thought, because you're so eccentric and you do such beautiful work, I thought,
thank you.
I'm going to wear color. And this is actually something that was custom made by my artist friend who was on a previous session. Her name is Monique Sarkisian. You've probably seen me share some of her artwork in my stories every once in a while.
I think I have. The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I've known her for
love
years.
It. It looks good on you.
Thank you. It's a lion in the back. It's beautiful.
Wow.
It's so beautiful, and it's soft and cozy. So that's why I wore this today in honor of you and also Monique.
Shout out to Monique.
Oh, I have to introduce you guys together too, because I think you would be very good friends, because again, you guys complement each other. You don't compete with one another. And
always. That's the goal. To always not compete. So. Absolutely.
Right. So I have the award here that I want to show everyone today, because I just want to, like, it is amazing. I mean, you guys, it's solid. And when I hold it, I literally have to hold it with two hands. That's how big it is. It's beautiful. So I just love this. It's perfect. It matches the colors for APA. And when the people get this, they are going to be, and we obviously will be doing a shout out, because you are the one who created these beautiful creations, and it's important.
Thank you very much.
I want more people to come to you and tap in, to your creativity.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Because you just do such beautiful stuff. I mean, I see this stuff flying by on my Instagram every day because I stalk you, and I'm like, look at this, look at this. And now we're working on some other creative things together. Yes. For CD that we're not going to say what it is today, but it will be released. We know between both of the companies co-released on Black Friday open for sale. It's two special things. So we're really, really excited. I mean, I'm excited. My team's like, oh my God, what another thing? What are you doing? I want to help. I want to help people feel better. And like having things that you can purchase that you have in your home, that I have in my home, that brings me comfort on bad days. I don't know. I just think it's a win for everybody. I don't do this to make money off of trinkets. Trust me, I don't have a flea market. You guys all know my acclimate.
I know. No, for sure. Like I totally understand like what you're trying to do is really beautiful. It's nice. It's trying to, bring people up, give them a little like more happiness in their home. So I totally get it. What you're trying to do, it's awesome. Honestly, I wish we had more people like in the world like you.
And you
I feel like, like me. Yeah, I try. I don't know. I always try to be as nice and as possible, like positive. I mean, with everyone that I meet, and just be kind. And that's it. Like that's the only thing I really believe in. Just to be nice, be kind. Candles are awesome. Like I literally have candles like all the time, everywhere around my house. So. I know what you're doing. I love what you're doing, so I'm for it.
Yeah, and I love what you do, because it is just amazing. I mean, it really is. Like I watch this stuff and I'm like, wow, look at this stuff. And the cool thing is, during this process of doing this award for APA, we have become friends as a result of it.
Yes.
We talk.
I message you every day. We talk every day. So
it's so nice. It really is nice.
It's amazing what social media can do nowadays.
Love it, because sometimes you have to watch as weirdos, but
and your like DMs, you just gotta ignore them. But
yes, you gotta like freak it. And then I'm sorry, we'll edit the dog out in the background, so don't worry to the viewers.
It's okay.
He's playing ball with himself. I guess his stomach's feeling better.
Having a good time now.
Of course, he decides to do this when I'm shooting.
Now,
I'm so sorry. I'm going to try and drag him over here. Okay, come on now. So that way we can finish what we're talking about. Okay.
No problem.
Do you have any pets?
I don't have any pets anymore. I used to have an American pit bull.
Oh.
She was amazing, and we had to give her away, but she's still good. She's like should be like 5 or 6 years old now. I had her until she was 3, about the same age as your dog. So I don't have pets. I have kids.
Yeah.
I have kids, which is like enough for me for now.
Yeah,
I have 2 boys. So.
2. I didn't realize they were boys. I knew you had 2 kids, but I didn't.
Boy. Yeah,
oh. I mean, being a boy mom, you know, I only have 1 boy, and then a dog who's like a baby too. He's a boy.
Yeah, so it's like having a kid in the house.
He's a toddler. Yeah.
There we go.
He really is. And like he's hanging out with his tongue's just hanging out over here. He's so funny. But yeah, boys, they're tough. You know, they're rough and tough, you know?
In general, I feel like boys have their thing and girls have their thing. So it's like each gender has their own handful, whatever to deal with. But shout out to the moms who have their kids close in age. Like, girl, my kids are 4 and 2. And that's too close, in my opinion, for me. Like, oh my God, they're each going through their own little developmental stages. And like, you have to deal with this problem and this problem at the same time. So it's kind of like splitting yourself in 2 and adapting to the kid. So the moms who have the kids back to back, the mom in general, being a mom is just like a whole new world.
It sure is. I mean, that being a mom.
I know you know what I'm talking about. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy at times.
How old is Christian?
Christian's going to be 9 in February. So and my best friend and I were like, wow, we said this like 2 nights ago. He's going to make it till 9. That's really good. We've done a good job, you know, because it's a tribe, you know.
Listen, it's a lot. It's a lot right now. Nowadays, especially with everything out there, like
what they get to see that we didn't see when we were kids, you know, like it's not the same world anymore. And you know, they're just you've got to explain more to them, like the stuff that happens, you know, with society nowadays.
The open communication, it needs to be like A1 with the kids. Because if you have to literally be like, I know they say like, oh, like you can't be their kid's best friend or whatever. Like certain people say like, oh, mom is a mom, dad is dad. You can't be like best friends with your kids. But like now it's super important to have your kids close to you and just they're talking, communicating.
Oh, yes. Because when they don't.
If they're open, you're doing something right. And you should really be proud of yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When they tell you stuff that's irking them and they're sharing with you, that's awesome because that means that what you've been emulating for them, they're seeing and they're absorbing. And I think that's one of the most challenging things, right? Being a mom is just kind of making sure that you're always on point with everything, you know, because what you do, they see. And
you have to like be on your A game.
And even like sharing when you're not happy about something. When for the longest time, I thought I shouldn't tell Christian when I'm sad, you know? So like, for example, when my dad died in 15, that I obviously, thank you. Obviously Christian knew that I was sad. He was sad. We were both sad. My dad was like his guy. He loved my dad.
Yeah.
I'm most like my father. So Christian, you know, felt like Papa was, you know, he was so cool at that point because he was 62. He's been through it all, you know. And,
he was like chilling.
He taught Christian certain things like about even dressing properly as a man.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, you know, like I've seen things that Christian, even the way Christian gets his hair cut. Right now, he's got that crazy. You probably saw the blue and green hair a couple of weeks ago.
I didn't see it. No.
Okay, so Christian dyed his hair the APA colors for Pup Up because it was his 6-year death anniversary. My dad's.
Oh wow.
So yes, so he wanted to do this. I said, okay, no problem. He has some crazy faux hawk thing going on right now, which I can't wait till this grows out and then we can get rid of. So, it's like starting to change colors. It's not really that cool anymore. But anyway, let him go, whatever.
No, it'll grow just like.
That's right. Whatever. Wear a baseball cap. I don't care. Yeah. So, he typically gets his hair cut like an OG, like Frank Sinatra. That's how he gets his hair cut. He will tell the hairstylist, My hair must be cut like Frank Sinatra. It has to
Oh my
be,
God.
and it must be, and
Nicely
you,
parted
yes,
and like
you've got to take the
all that.
sides down. Where's the product? I'm like, who is
Is
this
that from
child?
your dad? Your
My
dad, like
father, his hair had to be a certain way, and
wow.
he got it cut by the same barber the same way. He did not even like you. Like if you tousled his hair to screw with him, he would get so angry about it because his hair was out of place.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that too, in a sense. Like mine's been pulled back a
Of
lot
course, yeah.
lately to keep everything straight because I'm Sicilian, so it could get, even with the Brazilian, it gets puffy and it's a
Oh
crazy.
my God, you're funny. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like
But, you
certain
know,
people like it. Yeah.
So that's how he is. I don't know if you've seen that with your kids yet, where you've seen little things about your parents or you, where you're like, or your husband, where you're like, oh my God, there's a mirror.
I think that kids pick up little itty bitty traits of everyone that they're around. So like I live with my parents. So we have a 2-family house. So we have an apartment upstairs. They have an apartment downstairs. I actually grew up in this house. My dad bought this house when I was 4. So I got married, we moved out, we lived somewhere else. Again, like the whole COVID thing, we ended up moving here because my dad had a free apartment upstairs. It's like a fully renovated. It was like a nice opportunity for us to bring the family closer together. Yeah, so I was telling my husband, it's funny because I grew up in this home and now our kids are growing up here too. So it just makes you feel like a little warm inside. And I'm super close to my dad as well, like the same way like you are. I feel like girls are close with their dad, like they're just daddy's girls.
Yes.
So my kids have a little itty bitty traits of everyone, of my husband, of my dad, of my mom, of my in-laws. Like they just pick up whoever they're around, whatever they see. And I love that because now you have like this one little human who has different traits of everyone that you love.
It's it's so awesome, you know, because like as they grow, and then the teachers, you know, when your kids are going to get a little bit older and they're is the 4-year-old in pre-K yet? Or preschool?
He's in pre-K, and then next year it's kindergarten time.
Okay, so so it's starting. Okay, so you'll start getting this feedback, and you'll be like, huh, you know,
from the teacher.
Yes, like, oh, you know, your child is so empathetic, and obviously Frank isn't today, but you know, your child is so empathetic, and you're like, oh, I hope so. You know, like that's great.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, for sure. I know.
It's
my
awesome.
Kids, listen, they all have their little personalities, you know, so it comes out. My older one, he's very, I feel like older children like have a different like leadership trait in them because they're just firstborn. Second kids have different traits. Third kids, that's just my personal opinion.
Me too.
No offense to anyone. Yeah, I'm the oldest. I have 2 younger sisters, 2 twin sisters, and like I don't know, we all 3 of us we're all different. So it's like birth order matters in my opinion. So like my older son is like completely different to my younger son, who's more like the baby. And the teachers, the feedback, like you said, I get from the teachers as well. Like, oh, Avi, his name is Avi. Avi is like the lawyer in the class. Like he's the leader in the class. Like he's everyone's advocate too. So it's funny because
so awesome.
The older one wants to talk for everyone, and like you know, it's just everybody has their own thing. So
he tries to bring them along with them. That's what he's doing. Yeah. That's so awesome. That's so. And see now, as he gets older, you're going to sit here and watch those traits continue to build and build and build and build.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be wondering, okay, what's he going to do with himself when he gets older? Like this.
I already wonder. He's so little. I'm sure you have the same thing with Christians.
All the time. Like, you know, like this year he wanted to play violin.
My son actually said he wants to play violin too.
Of course. I didn't play, you know, any instruments. I have long fingers. Okay. People think that I played
piano.
Like
a pianist.
Right.
A piano player. Yeah.
No, I played ball. I was a baller. Basketball, you know, I was sports. And so Christian is sports. And my ex-husband's not a musician. So I think it's because he was raised to listen to, like Christian's been listening to music since he was little. He had an Alexa in his, and he had an Alexa in his room. And like I would put relaxation music on when he was about your son's age, Avi's age at 4. I would put this on and be like, I would say the A name.
Listen to it.
I don't want to
and like while they're playing.
Yeah.
While they're playing and stuff.
And I'll never forget one night I had to do a telecon with Australia, and I was in my other house, and my office was in the front of the house, off of the foyer. And then, the stairs go upstairs. Well, Christian's room was at the top of the stairs. I put him in that room because it had the highest energy in the house, because he's an energetic kid. So energy for him is very important, and it could be plus or minus, the experience. Sometimes.
I got to talk to you a little bit more about that, because like I actually have a lot of questions.
I would love to talk about that stuff, because when I was pregnant, they all came. All the people.
What do you mean?
Who passed away in our families, my ex-husband's and my family, they would come into my. I used to have I have a Buddha room here also, where it's my meditation room, and it's got really just furniture in it, whatever, but nice stuff. And the old house had cathedral ceilings in that room. And so that wall butted up against Christian's wall in his bedroom when I moved him to that bedroom. It used to be the guest room.
Yes.
So when I was pregnant, you would hear people clapping, cheersing in the middle of the night. It used to scare my nephews and nieces who would come and stay, because they would hear this going on downstairs. And they're like, is it the TV? And no, it's not the TV. They were waiting for Christian to come. And so it's been like this his whole life. So he's very sensitive.
I literally have goosebumps right now, because that is so crazy to me, that I like, so my dad had a brother. Well, had a brother. He passed away. Like, I think it's been 10 years already, which just goes by so fast. He passed away, and after he passed away, I felt like I was getting some sort of like signs or like visits from him. Like, before he passed, he actually made a phone call. We were having a family event in the house. It was somebody's birthday. I think it was my grandfather's birthday. We were having like a barbecue. So he actually called me and requested to talk to every single person that was there at the party, like all the family members. So my dad, my mom, me, my sisters, like whoever he could talk to, he spoke to. He said, "How are you? I love you. Everything's good." And on the next day, he ended up passing away.
Oh.
So it's like they say the soul kind of knows before it's your time. Yeah. So you kind of like finish your mission, they say, or like, you do whatever you got to complete in this world before passing. And then after he passed, I felt like he visited me, which was so weird. I had an experience, and like I didn't really tell anyone about it because I thought nobody would believe me. But now that you're saying that you guys are hearing clapping and all this stuff over there, that's insane. That's like so cool.
Yes, it happens. No, I never talked to them. So I heard them and I just leave them alone. My mom, she was part of the pack, but she got pissed because she always needed to be number one. I was the favorite grandchild. I'm the oldest. And I'm named after her mother. So Christina was my nani, my great grandma's name. And actually, this necklace that I'm wearing today, I'm sitting far back because I thought Frank it's a hand painted rose. It's rose gold from Italy.
Wow.
My mom, this was my nani's necklace. She gave it to my mom. When my mom passed, I got it. So I've been wearing it a lot lately because I sometimes feel like I need to connect on the other side when things are happening. And I've had some stuff going on, personally, domestically still. And so, and then you saw the racism thing that happened in the neighborhood. Yes. And so it's just been kind of.
What was that about?
It was these neighbors that live very close in proximity that have been targeting us racially since we've moved into this neighborhood. They've said things about my ex-husband, who's African American. Our son together is biracial. I'm Sicilian and Northern Italian and Greek. So they view me as Caucasian, even though I'm Sicilian. So I'm not really Caucasian. I'm just light skinned. So they were
same thing with me. Mm-hmm. Same thing with me. A lot of people view me, my family, like our culture as Caucasian, but we're not. We're actually from the former Soviet Union, and there's like southern like Uzbekistan and like Tajikistan. They're more like they're not even considered Caucasian. Like we have different backgrounds, so people just see the color of your skin and they automatically like label you who you are, where you're from. So I know, but sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, so it was tough. But and again, as a mom, you know, like this is not cool. This is my child. We're not playing here. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's,
like the lioness will come out.
That's exactly
the day.
Yeah, as I have my lion thing on today. Listen, Linda, this is not the one I'm not the one. And I've got cameras all over my house. So
Did you actually move?
No, this was 2018. This has been going on with these wackadoos since 2018. Snippets here and there. And then it happened again because the kid was bullying, there are 3 children, was bullying my son at the bus stop. And I go to the bus stop every day. So it's not like I don't know what's going on, Diana. Like I'm involved. I
see this. Yeah.
I'm not a helicopter. I might be this corporate mongrel, like CEO, blah, blah. But at first, I'm a mom. You
Absolutely.
know,
that's priority number 1.
So that was, and it's not like I can call my co-parent up on the phone and say, hey, listen, man, we've got something going on. We're at odds right now. We don't even talk. You know, it's because I had gotten court-appointed therapy for us because we need therapy, and he's not a believer in therapy. I'm a believer in therapy. And we clearly, the judge realized we needed therapy and he blew up in a therapy appointment. So the court finally got to see that side that he hides. That's the side
he came to the appointment. He actually came. And
it was on a Zoom. We were all on Zoom. So he was in the thing yelling like this. It was crazy.
Wow.
So,
he was really pissed.
So, so now we only talk through the attorneys. So that just means I've got to even handle even more than I already was by myself. It just
listen.
You
know,
the world
will never give you anything you can't handle.
That's right.
It's just something we need to always remind ourselves. If it's in our way, that means we can go through it and we can handle it and we got it. So
and we show others, right?
Yes.
We just keep showing others, and I think that's one of the reasons why you and I connected. Because, before we got on, we were talking about, how I always say we are the same. Because everybody is the same at the end of the day. The neighbors in the backyard that are annoying, or the front yard or the side yards or wherever they are, there is points that we are the same, right? We're both parents. We're all parents, right? We have children. Our kids go to the same school. So right there, we are the same, right? So if more people
always find something in common,
right?
Like no matter where you're from or who you are, right? Have something in common,
so if we could just get people shifting to that we are the same mentality, maybe we would not be like this.
Yes. For sure. I agree with you.
Right?
But I love what you're doing. So
thank you.
It makes a lot of sense to me and just what I stand for. So that's how we totally clicked.
Absolutely. And so you see though now, like when we were talking about you coming on the podcast, I said, listen, it's just going to be us chatting. Don't worry. It's not, there's no pressure here.
It's so like natural, I guess. I thought it was like gonna be different. I don't know. I was just
my executive producer, Rye Russell, he's the guy behind CD's podcast with a whole team of people, Ethan, Brooke, everybody. When I did my first show, Rye was like, oh my God, you're made for this. I'm like, really? I don't know. Like,
listen, you have a good energy about you that people feel comfortable enough to talk to you. And like, just like, that's like a big thing, having a good energy, a good vibe. That way everyone, like, people can just, give you good feedback, vibe with you, talk with you, feel like, we've known each other forever. Really, we haven't even talked that long. But just having that natural aura, that natural energy, it always makes people feel comfortable.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is that you and I have interacted day and night, right? Depending upon when these messages. And so we got to see the legitimateness of who we are as humans this whole time. Because we were talking one night really late. I said, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm thinking about stuff. And I just wanted to, because I'll forget.
Write it down and send it to you.
Yes. And you were like, no, girl, I'm up. I got these 2 kids. And I was like, okay, you know, because I don't want you to think you have to work because I'm working. You know, like that's not how this works.
Listen, as much as professional as people are, I feel like people are still humans. At the end of the day, people still have their lives, their families to tend to, their schedules. Like people forget, like behind these Instagram platforms, you have like, I don't know, 100,000 followers. Now all of a sudden you think that there's not like a real person behind the account. Like not true. Not true. Everyone has their own life. We only put out what we want you to see.
Right. So, that's one of the reasons why I launched the brand, because people have seen me as a professional for decades now. 2 decades I've been doing this biotech stuff, and they've seen people who work with me or work alongside me or whatever. They've seen me do what I've done. They see what I'm doing with the nonprofit, with the firm, the advocacy firm, the tech side with the bots and all that stuff. They're seeing all of that, right? They see me as a mom. At one point, some of these people saw me as a wife. And, you know, and I got divorced very quietly. And then I had suffered all these years from domestic violence, never said a word, just kept hitting the milestones from a work perspective, but hiding. And that's
exactly.
And when I launched,
that's what I mean.
Yes. And when I launched CD last year in July, I was literally at my worst personally. I was in the bottom of my shower thinking, I'm going to die. I'm not going to make it out. It's not going to happen for me.
You see, you channeled that into something else and you made it greater, you made it better, and you made it work in your favor, you know? And that's the same thing with me. When I lost my job, it was crazy. Like I'll give you like a quick backstory. I was ready to go back to work because I had my baby at the time, who was like he's 2 now. So he was like maybe 8, 9 months at the time. I was home with him because of COVID. They started shutting down schools and the daycares and all that stuff. So I had to sit back home with the kids. My husband was an essential worker, you know, so he was open. So I was home with the kiddos, and I was like, listen, what am I going to do? Am I ever going to go back to work? And I'm just that type of person. Like, I can't just sit at home. I love to work and I love to just grind and like meet new people, talk and socialize. Like I'm a Sagittarius. I'm very free. I'm very out there, you know?
Yeah.
So I had made arrangements to come back to work. I paid wherever I needed to pay. I had contacted my bosses. I had reached out to them and told them like, listen, like I'm ready to come back to work. We agreed. We set everything up. When time was ready, they basically ended up telling me like, listen, like your schedule doesn't really cut it for us. Sorry. You know, if anything changes, give us a call back. And this was a company I had worked for like 7 years.
No loyalty.
I'm not gonna, no loyalty. Like I really, really like loved working with them. I'm not gonna do any name calling, but you know, it's a big part of your life when you commit to something. You have like a work family, like you say, like your team, and like you see how you speak about all these people that work with you. They're already like your family.
That's absolutely right.
So when I didn't end up getting the job back, I was very low at a low point.
Depressed.
Yes, I was sad. I called my husband.
Part of your identity was working. That's part of who you are as a person. So now that was ripped out.
It's just like, sorry, you can't. But I know myself. You know, I'm the type of person, I will rise
like a phoenix.
Whatever it is. Yeah, whatever it is, I will handle. I cried a little bit about it. I talked to my husband a little bit about it. Then I was like, okay, my husband's name is Arthur. He's like, Arthur, I have this idea, and this is what I want to do. I'm going to buy the supplies. I'm going to practice my craft. I'm going to figure it out. I'm like, are you with me? He's like, I support you 100%. Whatever you want to do, do it. Like, I got your back. I was like, all right, sick. Like, I'll do it. And then I just slowly started making things for people, for friends, for family members. And they were like, you should really push your stuff. You should make a page and just do it. Go for it. You'll be perfect. And I was like, all right, cool. So I just opened it and the orders started rolling in. People started following, so it makes you feel really good about yourself when you do something completely out of your initial plan. Yeah. And that's how you know you can do anything. You can do anything you want to do as long as you love it and as long as you try.
That's right. And you have integrity behind you.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. Not everybody has integrity behind them. Sometimes they're just trying to make a quick buck. That's not what you said today. That's not what you said in any of these times when we were talking. As a matter of fact, I was like, let me pay you for the temp thing that you're putting together, the model, because you're a service provider like I am. Yes. So I know what it's like when people don't pay. And like, I'm getting ready to file a lawsuit on somebody that owes me $70K right now. So it's like, listen, I'm not playing. So so when I work with people like you, I make sure, like, let me pay, because listen, I don't know what's going on your side. And I'm asking you to do this with me. You're taking a chance in me, just like I'm taking a chance in you. And you've got to ante up. This isn't a free rodeo.
It's awesome that you consider other people as well, like especially in small businesses. Listen, when you open up any business, you don't see profits for at least the first year. I did not. I'm just reinvesting. I'm putting everything back into my business. Whatever I'm making, I'm putting back in. I'm not pocketing anything.
Nope.
I'm spending on supplies, on material,
R&D.
advertisement, like all these things. Yeah, they cost money, so I totally know what you mean. And anytime I work with someone, I'm always like, how much is it? Let me pay you first.
Yes.
Get that out of the way.
Yes. I don't want somebody waiting for me. And as soon as I get those Venmos, I'm like, whoop, right over, because unless I'm, on a podcast or something, or I'm on a meeting, I can't look at my phone. I pay attention because I'm not one of those other people that's like, oh, Venmo me. And then 5 days later, they pay the Venmo. What the hell? Then why did you bother asking me to Venmo? It's going to take 5. This doesn't make sense. So, I think you're going to be very successful with what you're doing because you've got head, heart, everything involved. And how can you not be? And most importantly, you believe in yourself. And I believe in you too, not that I'm I'm not the president of the United States or anything, but I do.
Listen, it means a lot also coming from you.
Thank you.
All these these projects that you have, and you're driven, and it's like a huge thing to have. And coming from someone like you telling me that you believe in me, that's amazing. So thank you.
I mean it. Truly. You know it.
Thank you, Christina.
All right, my friends. Well, as everyone can tell, our viewers and listeners, we could talk forever. So that just means Diana has to come back on again next year after we've done some more stuff together.
I would be down.
It would be so much fun. So with that said, thank you so much for coming on. Remember, everyone, as we talked about today, we are the same. I am Christina DiArcangelo. Thank you.